Hi, Eight of Cups family. Welcome to your May readings. A quick reminder, guys, that this intro will be in the beginning of each and every video. If you are not interested in watching it over and over again, I do provide timestamps within the description box and the first comment of each reading. So if you've listened to this before, you can kind of skip past it and move on to your cards for that sign. The intro is a little bit about the astrology of the month, and it's really charged in May. That's kind of the word that I want to use, is charged. I think we're all really charged up. We're all ready for this change. Now, I've said it in a few of my videos. I don't mean to repeat myself, but it is true. We're in a 5-year and May is a 5-month. So there's a promise right there that there will be changes occurring. As well, with this new moon that moves into Taurus around May 11th, there's a significant shift because we move officially into eclipse season. Guys, I know most of us are seeing the signs. We're seeing the things. We're seeing the changes. We're seeing that things don't fit us anymore, or things that do seem to fit us better. And then there's like that whole hesitation thing. And the month of May actually does hold a lot of consequences. The decisions that you make now, the things that you choose, where you are kind of pushed, and how you react all play a really large role in your future self. So it's kind of important to take these transits pretty seriously. Now, we also have a lot of shifts in energy this month. We're moving from, the wonderful Venus placement in Taurus, where we got, I feel like, a few weeks to kind of enjoy our surroundings, enjoy the things that we have. We got to tap into a more sensual side. I think some of us were probably maybe like, I call it romanticizing our homes, enjoying our family a little bit, maybe getting into new routines, embracing the new weather, and making plans for the future, because Taurus season really is all about the making of the plans. How do we want the future to look? It also played a big emphasis on our values, of course. Things are playing out around us, and it's making us question, do we still believe in the things we believe in? Do we still want the things that we wanted? And as everything starts to make this transition into Gemini, first Mercury and then Venus, and then the Sun will all follow into a conglomeration of planets that are joining this North Node. It's pretty important to understand that May will be pretty revealing. It'll be revealing as to where we're going and what fits us. And there's a need to embrace the new, which means there's a need for the courage to let some things go. South Node, Sag. We're in eclipse season, guys. These nodes are super important. It's really important to know where they're falling in your chart, what areas of your life are being heavily affected by them. And probably the biggest news of the month is, and albeit a month full of eclipses, is the taste of Jupiter moving into Pisces. This is much different than Jupiter's energy in Aquarius. Jupiter tends to expand the energy. It makes it bigger, stronger. Jupiter moving into Pisces is going to have a very different feel. And what happens is Jupiter slips into Pisces just long enough for it to make a square over to that Mercury and Venus. And it starts to tell a story about what 2022 is going to be about. So you want to be really vigilant around the middle of the month. Start looking at the way that things are unfolding. There's a lot of emphasis of this Gemini placement. Now, about a year ago, we had Venus in Gemini go through a pretty serious retrograde period last May and June. We've been here before. We've been looking at these stories for a while, okay? This is not about like the new shocking things popping up. They will, of course. We have Uranus making a square to Saturn, but the ultimate issues are clear to you. You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with our ability to embrace the change, our ability to get curious, to start paying attention to our surroundings. Gemini does have a lot to do with our environments. Gemini rules the third house, and it's all about that creativity. And when you think of creativity and you pair it up with the intellectual, the intelligence of Gemini, you can make a lot of really wonderful things happen. Now, I always say, when I look at the fifth house really truly belongs to like creativity and joy, but it also can make you lazy. Jupiter in Pisces can also make you a little lazy. But all that third house energy gives you the new ideas, the new things that we're creating, the new directions that we're going in. And it's about exploring them. It's about opening up to the curiosity. It's about communicating, of course, having those conversations, expressing ourselves. And guys, as Saturn begins to move into this formation of the second square with Uranus, it's really important to stay true to ourselves and our authenticity. Saturn in Aquarius is going to make you separate yourself from like the group think. And that's super important right now, because part of what needs to change has been over the years of us kind of doing what society, what other people, what other structures in our life expected from us. And now the 2020 happened, 2021 rolls in, and we're like, well, why are we even doing it like this in the first place? You know, one of my favorite examples of this is kind of what happened when we all started to work from home. Like, there was almost a death of the 9 to 5. Of course, it's got its downfalls and it has its bonuses. We could work whenever we want, but we could also maybe always be working. We have to invite the new in, and we have to tweak it. And what this retrograde season is all about is the tweaking. Now, we have Mercury that's going to sit in Gemini for an extremely long amount of time. It's even retrograde longer than it typically is. So you can kind of look at this time, and it won't actually be retrograde until the very end of May. Mercury enters its shadow zone around May 15th. Close to the same time as a new moon in Taurus. We're starting to get things rolling. We're entering our shadow phase. And I just want to tell everybody it's okay to make the changes. It's okay to proceed, because Mercury is going to give you a chance to perfect it, to make the adjustments. It's not like about the big commitments. It's about just trying it. It's about being brave enough to just explore the possibilities. Now, we already had Pluto go retrograde, so there's definitely internal work as far as our power dynamics. Where do we give our power away? This is a time in which we take it back. In other words, if there are people in your life that manipulate you or tend to make you feel like you have to stay in this box, we're definitely in the process of growing out of the box. And Saturn is also going to station retrograde, and when Saturn stations retrograde, it does become a lot about the karmic cycles. There's things that are ending. There's old storylines in our lives that just simply don't fit us anymore. Those bad relationships, the unfulfilling jobs, the friendships just out of, social niceties. And those things are going to get phased out, and we have to be brave enough to embrace that. And by that, I mean it's going to take a lot of self-love. Moving into Cancer season soon. It's right around the corner. And the next several months, like I said, are an extremely karmic period. The summer is an extremely karmic period. It's about the movement. It's about the processes, and it's about getting things started, guys. So really important to kind of tap in to the things that you truly want, okay? It's also really important to break out of habits of stagnation and what's keeping you small. So again, those relationships, those jobs, whatever it is where you feel like you have to kind of dim your light or you can't express yourself. And we're seeing this all the time on social media, right? Like, It's no lie that with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, we're going to start to see the consequences of what happens when you deny our freedom of speech in a way, okay? There's consequences involved. Where are you denying yourself from speaking up, from standing up for yourself when you see that something's not right or something doesn't make sense or it's not in your authenticity or integrity? I think the next couple of months is like this opportunity to be like, you know what, this is just not for me. And it's not about you and it's not about us. And we're not going to take these things personally. We're just going to proceed in another area where it's more welcoming, where we could have a stronger purpose. All of this is because of our drive for the purpose. Our world is changing. Everything around us is changing. Our priorities, our structures are changing. And so we have to start to realize what really matters to us and what are the things that we can release. You know, if you're miserable in a job, it may be the time in which, regardless of financial status or burdens, it may be time to take the risk. Relationships as well. If you're staying in relationships as a means of security or as a way to not be alone, you could probably expect those ideas to kind of dissolve right in front of you. And when we have Jupiter moving into Pisces, it is really all about the surrendering. It is really all about the dissolving. And in order to fully embrace it, you have to have faith. You have to have faith in the universe that we're all moving in the direction that is right for us. And it doesn't mean that other people are wrong. It just means that this is what's right for you. And of course, when we take that kind of attitude on, there's a lot of people in our lives that can resist this because they need us to be this certain way. And so this is where the friction of the Saturn-Uranus square comes in. And it's about, like, what are you accountable for and who are you accountable to and what really matters. So a lot of self-inspection, reflection that's been going on over the past several months, that kind of comes to the surface now. It starts to like really take place in the material realm. There is no doubt that people will start to make the big moves, make the job change, move environments, change your houses, change your states that you're living in, change your political associations. It's all about the changing to reflect who we are now. And if it doesn't come from an authentic place of integrity, you can expect a lot more bumps in the road. But if you're going towards something that is reflective of your greater purpose and your destiny, you will find it to be the path of least resistance. So pay attention, guys. I hope you enjoy your cards, and I do hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful month, and I'll be back soon. Take care, guys. Bye. Welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot, and welcome to your cards for May. I'm really excited for this reading. I have to tell you, out of all of the months, and I've had some pretty tremendous astrological months that we've been through, the feeling that I get when I do May's readings is just a lot of breakthroughs. Now, some of the breakthroughs are on the physical, material plane. Some of the breakthroughs are psychological and subconscious, kind of life-altering realizations, and some of them are just about peace. And Libra, I get the feeling that that's kind of where you are in the month of May, and that's certainly not to say that nothing is happening, but I do want to advise you like the whole message for the month is that it's all good. It's all good. Even the obstacles, even the bumps in the road, they all serve a greater purpose. And the entire month kind of lingers on your ability to perceive these things this way. Because some Libras can get stuck. Now, here's the thing about this energy. My cardinal signs, you, Capricorn, Cancer, and Aries, have all already been through the big changes, right? So let that kind of be a sense of relief for you that, you know, the big things are kind of done. The upsets are kind of done. Now, I say that as we're moving into this eclipse season, the second Saturn-Uranus square, like obviously there's more to your story. But I get a sense that some Libras are really just braced for the next catastrophe. And I don't think that that's what the universe is about to bring you at this point. I think you've done that work. I think you've been through that. I think you've had the surprises. And this is kind of like a finalization here. Now, your energy this month, you are coming out as the King of Wands. And this is such a beautiful energy because there's determination. But mostly I see this man with his arms folded. He doesn't seem to be in a state of anger. Like there's this lion here, obviously roaring, protecting. He seems to be protecting. And I get the feeling that this King of Wands has really been through some stuff. And the King of Wands is always operating from the heart space. It's a fiery, courageous heart that he has. And I think he's using it to kind of protect all of the things that he still has. Now, for some of you, there may have been loss. Okay, your environment is that of the Hermit. It may have been a narrowing, a less than, maybe some of you, this is financially feeling a little bit of a tightening. For some of you, it was your friends and your social. Some of you, it is your relationships. Some of you have suffered losses and have been in an element of healing, which also called for a little bit of isolation. And I'm drawn to these arms here, folded sort of in this protection mode. And then I look at her where she is heavily cloaked, carrying things that are probably like in preparation for, like that looks like an umbrella, maybe in preparation for the rain, extra water for the journey, you know. And I love that the way that there's like this beautiful flower that is blooming around her. And I feel like this is your energy. I feel that the more healing, which means it's important to kind of cut yourself off from the craziness around you. Okay, Libra, there's gonna be some stuff, right? I just gave you 100 different reasons for why we're gonna have some stuff. And it may not be big life-altering crazy stuff for you, but it may be for others. And the thing is, you've already done the work. You felt the losses. You've gotten back up on your feet because the King of Wands has conquered something. And so now he is protecting this energy field in you that is growing. And I feel like there's a growth within the positivity, within the gratitude. And I don't always pick that up from this particular card, but I'm overwhelmed with her ability to kind of cloak herself in the gratefulness. With the Hermit here, there's almost a knowing, maybe even beyond reason, beyond proof, beyond data. Like there's no guarantees. There's just a feeling of peace. An acceptance that this is how it is all supposed to be. The Hermit has a lot of wisdom. And the King of Wands is very mature as well. So I like that your environment this month, even if it is crazy, you are protected. And you are protected because I think you're protecting something very precious. Now here, the first three cards, we have the Eight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Now, this is what I mean about the narrowing. There's a steady regression of swords here. We go from an 8 to a 4 to a wand. And it's like being stuck in all this doubt. Like there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of voices in Libra's head that says that's never going to work. We're going to have to keep going. We're going to have to keep doing things the same way, which obviously this woman feels stuck in some manner. Now, we all know the swords are illusions. They're these thoughts we build up in our head. They're probably not real. They're probably things that are easily conquered. But because they hold such a psychological hold on us, and this is all about that breakthrough. Now I'm just going to skip around for a little bit because I want to point this out. We have step out of your comfort zone, North Node. North Node is in Gemini, which is your 9th house, a very, very psychological house. It's a house of expansion. It's a house of the next thing. And it's all about like, where are you going next in life? And I'm looking at this Eight of Swords, this woman who seems to be bound, meaning almost feeling helpless, certainly not feeling in control of, at the mercy kind of her mental thoughts. And because she's blindfolded, it's probably very difficult to see the light, to see the positivity, to see the possibilities, right? And the Eight of Swords is just one step below the Nine of Swords, which we all know is like that tension, which becomes kind of physical in our bodies. It can cause anxiety at the very least. It could start to manifest into physical symptoms. And I think for some of you, you are on the brink, or you were on the brink of that. And I think you knew it. I think there was a knowing that you were moving into kind of a dangerous category. Now, I don't mean dangerous like you're in danger, but like your mind starting to slip into old fear patterns and negativity. Starting to lose hope, starting to lose zest in life. And there's this Four of Swords, so maybe some of you are going or have recently gone on some sort of a vacation, taken a break from work, taking a rest. Maybe some of you are taking more time to meditate. Maybe there's just an abundance of mental health days. There's a lot of self-care and, an easiness. For some of you, if you find yourself kind of really doing that whole negative self-talk thing, like the Four of Swords is the realization and the toning it down. I always think of spring, like we start to bring out like the summer clothes. We start to, start to realize that maybe we packed on a few extra pounds, or maybe we just haven't been taking care of ourselves. And now it's time to like see what's happened, because we have this Justice card here, and I think this Justice card is really important this month. because it means that there is a realization of the consequences for your actions. Now, that's not like mean. Saturn, Aquarius, your fifth house, you can expect that anywhere where you've been a little bit too overindulgent, there will be consequences. And the universe is going to let you know, like, no, it's time to pull back. And it's not a really good idea to spend a whole lot of time in May beating yourself up, you know? I mean, it's not very productive. And instead, you kind of just change your thoughts. You shift your thoughts. Page of Swords. The thing is, with the Page of Swords, he's super exciting, right? Like he's brand new. He's willing to give anything a try. Super curious, super intellectual, really easy. So I like this energy, like if you're doing any kind of a positive thinking manifestation kind of thing, it could really make some progress here. If some of you are starting some form of like talk therapy, it's also a really good idea right now. And the Page of Swords is all about that communication. And I think it's all about actually taking the time to listen to yourself, to listen to your thoughts, to listen to your intuition. Page of Wands doesn't get enough credit for how intuitive he is. The Page of Wands is a warrior. And a warrior knows how to listen to both the advice from others, right? Heed the warnings. And as well, he has to honor those gut feelings. He has to trust himself. And I feel like this top row of cards is pretty profound developments within your psyche. Some Libras are going to stay here for a while. Some Libras are going to, and I almost get an essence for some of you because we have the 8 of Swords and then we have the 7 of Wands. For some of you, there's some stuff going on and you're refusing to see it. You know, these two cards together can definitely talk about avoidance. Can definitely talk about denying. And because we have this 7 of Wands underneath the 8 of Swords, you might know some Libras. Maybe you're a cross watcher. If you're dealing with a difficult Libra this month, it's because they're trying to protect the things that they have left. I get the feeling that some Libras have gone through enough change. You know, like that could be so overwhelming for us at this point in our journeys, you know, this point in which, look, this is all I have left. And you might really find yourself kind of protecting this old way of thinking. There could be some stubbornness that comes up. If you're willing to open up, if you're willing to talk about it, if you're willing to have those conversations, if you're willing to go into therapy or, you know, self-help kind of stuff, because the Page of Swords always represents honesty. And the fact is, the more honest you are able to be with yourself, the more honest you are able to communicate with others, which comes from a place of wisdom and peace. So definitely hold back on any of like the strong, emotionally charged conversations, okay? If you have people coming at you this month, kind of saying the things, which could certainly happen with Mars in Cancer, your 10th house. People could start really saying the things, and you could definitely feel attacked. But I'm not sure the defense mode is really going to get you anywhere. Now, for some of my Libras, you may have been going through a breakup or divorce process. I do believe that that's going to be finalized probably within the next month or two. We've got this Justice card here, Page of Swords suggesting contracts. And, you know, for some of you, if that is you, you may have been expecting a big win, okay? There might have been some kind of a settlement that you were expecting that would kind of leave you in this 9 of Pentacles status, fighting for yourself, okay? I don't know if it's going to be all that great, but you have the Justice card, so that is a promise that it will be fair. And I get the message in any kind of situation here, personal relationships, the job situations, career stuff, you know, it's a result of the work that you've put in. Again, Saturn in the 5th. If you've been doing the hard work, if you've been dreaming for the right reasons, if you've been dreaming for the success because you want some sort of freedom, right? Because you want your life to expand, because you know you deserve better, it's on its way. But it's not going to be a month when you get everything you wanted. Because it's going to be a month when you have to learn to be grateful for the things that you do have. And it's going to be a reminder this month to watch your expectations, especially of others. Because with this 9 of Pentacles right here in the center of the reading, it is always a reminder that we've got our own backs. And the rest of the world can kind of spin out of control. They can kind of do their own thing. And here's Libra right here in the center, enjoying the things that she has, enjoying the things that she has worked for, and really not allowing the negativity of her surroundings to affect her. But this 9 of Pentacles is surrounded by a 4 of Swords and a 3 of Swords. This 9 of Pentacles occurs when you've done the healing, and you can't do the healing, you know, until you expose the wounds. So here I want to discuss for a minute what happens when we have this new moon trine Pluto around the 11th of May, just a few days from now. Pluto in your 4th. There can be a lot of really deep emotional healing. And maybe you were unaware that the things that were still healing inside of you were the blocks. 8 of Swords, 7 of Wands, Ace of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands card is my spark. It's my inspiration. And because it's in reverse, there's like a whole lot of stubbornness. Of the things that you do to kind of keep you from your spark. You might be fighting really hard to get that spark back. And the realization that it's probably not through hard work, it's probably not through like negotiations, or it's really just about exposing the wounds, acknowledging them. And I always talk about my 9 of Pentacles card I always see her as being incredibly grateful. It's one of my favorite cards, absolutely. Because she's so in love with life. She's so strong, she's so independent, young and full of possibility, and so appreciative of life, of like the little things. And when you appreciate like the little simple things, like even going for a walk and just, you know, I for one, and this is a card of Virgo, I'm a Virgo. Maybe some of you have some Virgo placements as well. There's something about nature and about animals that is a reminder of like how insanely beautiful this entire world is. Like, yeah, we're all just people and we have all these problems and we have all these things and we have all these feelings, you know. But you look out in nature and that's like the real magic. There's nothing messy. There's nothing, it's just a bunch of beautiful things doing exactly what they're meant to do. Like you don't see a tree trying to figure out like their path in life, you know. Just simply do what they're meant to do. And I'm just so pulled to this Nine of Pentacles because she just seems to be doing exactly what she's meant to do, which is appreciate life. Now, if there's been some negative Libras, or if there's been some negative people in Libra's life, there will be the consequences. Justice card, Four of Cups, Three of Swords. There will be consequences. Now, I'm not going to say that the universe is going to come and beat you up a little bit. But there will be things that happen that open your eyes and make this very clear. Because I think that's what's happening, is you are being forced to open your eyes. By way of maybe having to fight for the things that you have. By standing up for yourself and your authority. Your sovereignty. Because I just don't think that Libra is going to settle for any of this anymore. This Ace of Wands in reverse, this Three of Swords, and this Four of Cups. I just don't think that this is where Libra wants to be. Bottom of the deck, the Sun card in reverse. Libra wants so much more for their life. They want their spark back. They want to heal, and they want to be in a place of appreciation. You know, the Four of Cups is always indicating to me that the gift was in the consequences. Yeah, maybe you're not going to get all the things you dreamed of, all the things that you truly wanted, like the material things. But what you do receive is a gift. And sometimes the losses can be the gifts. Sometimes the rejections can be the gifts. If something isn't working out, the clarity comes, and then boom, you get to move on to the next thing. Remember, you're a King of Wands. There's nothing you can't do. There's really nothing you're afraid of. Tap into that King of Wands energy. And when there is some sort of a rejection or a not so great deal, it's an opportunity. Now, I know that's so much easier said than done. Like if you've been going through divorce proceedings or something for years and kind of expecting a good settlement, and you don't get nearly enough to even break even from the legal fees, right? Okay. Lesson learned. What you will gain is your freedom. Like, look here, we have from the 8 of Swords to 1 single sword. Like, what you will gain this month is your freedom. Freedom from the thought, freedom from the stress, freedom from the guilt, freedom from the shame, freedom from the worry. It's all there. But the first thing that you have to do is let all this stuff go and be okay with what you have right now. Now we have a card of Virgo here. We have a card of Virgo here. There's definitely Virgo in your environment, and it is not the time to ignore the fact that we have Jupiter making an ingress into Pisces. This is a really, really big astrological move. This is really going to change the tone of 2021 for a lot of us. And it's really just a preview of what 2022 will be, because Jupiter will move in there for about a month and a half, and then he will move retrograde, go back into Aquarius all the way until December. But we cannot underestimate this Jupiter into Pisces, and Pisces rules your 6th house. So we cannot underestimate the consequences that come via your health. It is definitely a time to start taking your health and your well-being much more seriously. Because for some of you, the universe is going to start giving you some big success. Like for some of you that have like really done the work, done the healing, done the manifestation, like not holding on to all of this stuff. Success is coming. Look. Right under this King of Wands, we have step out of your comfort zone, North Node in Gemini, your 9th house of expansion, and prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. That's what I just talked about, the new moon in Taurus on May 11th, making a trine to Pluto in your 4th house. The universe wants to give you the things. 4 of Cups. The universe is handing you the gifts. If you could see them, gifts may not be what you expected, but there will be a chain of events or things that occur that might make you really step up to the plate, and that's where the magic starts. Maybe the stepping up of the plate is just working on your own personal health and well-being. Starting to put yourself first. Starting to put your life, your thoughts, your heart first. And we have this Hermit card, and underneath we have Starseed, what lights you up, and play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. And for some of you Libras, there might actually be somebody in your life who's going through some hard stuff. Your vibrations may not be matching perfectly at this time. You might be more in this play mode. You might just be in a better, higher vibration than maybe a partner or a business partner or someone significant in your life. And just because your partner maybe in a much different energy doesn't mean that you are stuck. And for some of you, it's a time to get real honest about that situation. It's a time to understand that nobody else, 9 of Pentacles, Nobody else is responsible for your happiness, and you are not responsible for anyone else's happiness. But if you don't maintain your own high vibration, if you don't get yourself in that happy place, it's going to be super easy for a partner to pull you down here to a Four of Cups. And there's probably a delicate balance between holding space and being compassionate. Because I know you want to be compassionate. But you also know that there's just some karmic consequences that happen in life. And if somebody is fighting change, there's truly nothing you could do but honor who you are and what you want and how you want to feel. Now we have the Sun card in reverse, and then we have these two really, really beautiful cards. Card number 42, 6, 6th house, netcaster, preparations come to fruition. I love this card. She's kind of got like this fishing net. I don't know if you guys could see it really up close. She's got this fishing net. There's like a puffer fish and like a, you know, Libra, I get the feeling like this is you kind of casting out that positive vibe, casting out those positive ideas, you know, those good suggestions. Maybe this is towards that partner. And like you just never know what you're going to get, right? Like you never know. Sometimes you could pull that net up and it's completely empty. And sometimes you could pull that net up and there's some pretty cool stuff. And I love this hat that she's wearing with like literal flowers growing out of it. When in a positive vibe, you could create so much, Libra. There's so much growth. There's so much abundance from your ideas. And here you are, you have the strength and the determination to make it happen. You cannot be afraid to cast the net. You have to give these things a try. Because you might not reel in everything, but some of the things are going to be pretty cool. Some of the things maybe you weren't even expecting. And I get the feeling that preparations come to fruition with the Ace of Wands. It's an indication to get ready. Pay attention to your health. Pay attention to your body. You know, here for some of you guys, you know, moving into the summer season, your Nine of Pentacles, for some of you, you're very single and independent. And here you're getting a card that says the prep work that you've done will pay off. The self-work that you've done, you know, like the improving, if some of you have been going through therapy, if some of you have been doing the healing work, then you receive your rewards, justice. And with this card came out Woodwives, adaptability, card number 64, breaking down to a 10. Now I love this Woodwives because it just reminds me of this new moon, trine Pluto. There will be changes, Libra. There has to be changes. For some of you, you have partners that are going through a lot of different stuff, and so you have to remain adaptable. And yet you are deeply rooted. There's wisdom, there's stability, there's time. There's a magical investment, the emotional investment. And I think the things that are happening in May have kind of been happening for a while. And I think those things are coming to fruition, and you can expect some changes. You can expect changes from your partner. You can expect things to grow. And I love that these two cards came out next to each other. We have the Four of Cups and we have here and now, which is a reminder that the magic really happens this month when you are in the moment. Because like this is future stuff. This is like being worried about the future. And this is past stuff. I have to protect myself because everything kind of falls apart, or everything goes wrong, or I can't trust people, or I can't break free. But if you pay attention to the moments, if you pay attention to those little things in life, the little things that bring you joy, that feel like play, the things that light you up, the creative projects. Maybe even it's just cleaning the house and appreciating the things that you have. Maybe the little things are cooking a meal and feeding your family and showing your love. You know, and the more that you can appreciate the little things, the less you think about the things you've lost. Look, we've all lost things. We're literally on this earth to learn how to lose things. You know, we're here for an emotional experience. We have to love things, and we have to lose things, and we have to move on, and we have to find the other things, and there's so many pieces, and life doesn't stop. It'll pause. Libra, when you need a pause, it will pause. It will always continue again. It will always keep going. And you have to keep going. And when you suffer those losses, it's important to understand how grateful you will feel when the good things happen. 32 breaking down to a 5, which is a card of change, which means you are in the process of change. You are somewhere in between worlds. You're in between your past, something is ending, in your future. The new beginning hasn't started yet. And it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to say, oh, nothing good is happening. These things aren't moving. This stuff that I counted on happening isn't happening. But it's a reminder that it's all okay. That in the moment, every single day, there's still something to focus on, to be grateful for. Change your perspective. Change your whole life. Change your energy. Change your whole life. Become more positive, and the things start to happen. You're in a transition. And the Netcasters is a reminder that you'll see it. You'll see it. You'll cast out that positive thought, and it'll manifest and come back to you. And you'll be like, wow, really? Okay, and it's not going to be everything. Like, it's a fishing net. Like, things are going to slip through. It won't work out. It's not going to work every time. If you cast a big enough net, some pretty cool things are going to come your way. Things you weren't expecting. It's just really important to not stay stuck and stubborn on the things that you truly want to happen. Because if those don't go your way, the universe has a whole different idea that's going to serve you so much better. And you could either appreciate things for the way they are, or you're going to keep plugging away at this thing that's really never going to work out. And you're just wasting time and making it harder and harder for the universe to get it to you. New moon, trine Pluto. Guys, it's time. It's time to let the good things in. It's time to start getting ourselves in a place of truly appreciating our lives. And if that means that some people have to be left behind, if that means we have to leave a job, leave a city, if it means we have to disappoint some people, the universe is going to support you. It's all going to work out. It's just not going to be the way you thought it was going to be. All right, Libras, beautiful reading. I will be back in some capacity for mid-month readings. We've got eclipses coming up. We've got some big stuff, so I'll definitely be checking in. In the meantime, I do hope that you have a wonderful, beautiful May, and I will talk to you again soon, guys. Best wishes, lots of love. Bye.